If you ever wanted to yo-yo, but you did not know where to start, I'm going to help you. I'm going to break down the best beginner guide to learn how to yo-yo and how to start. Going from tricks you should know, yo-yos you should buy, where you should buy them, and steps to growing into an amazing and great yo-yo player. Hello everybody. If you don't know me already, my name is Noel Vermillion. I am a Southeast Regional Yo-Yo Champion, and I create tutorials here on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, teaching millions of people around the world how to become amazing yo-yo players. If you're here, that means you want to learn how to be a yo-yo player. So let's get straight into it and break it down for you. So the first thing you're going to want to know is how to choose a yo-yo. In standard yo-yoing, there's two different types of yo-yos you should know about, and they are responsive yo-yos and unresponsive yo-yos. Let's talk about the differences between them both. So first, responsive yo-yos. What is a responsive yo-yo? A responsive yo-yo is a yo-yo that goes up and down traditionally like most old yo-yos used to, or what most people know yo-yoing as. Majority of the time, they're gonna be circular in shape. It'll be that traditional imperial look that most people are familiar with. Now, yes, there can be responsive yo-yos that are of a butterfly shape, but majority of the responsive yo-yos you will encounter will be of imperial shape. But there are some responsive ones that are not. The next one we're going to be talking about is unresponsive yo-yoing. What is unresponsive yo-yoing? Unresponsive yo-yoing is when you throw the yo-yo down and it does not come back up to your hand as a traditional yo-yo will. With unresponsive yo-yoing, you need to learn a trick that we refer to in the yo-yo community as a bind return. It's the method of bringing the yo-yo back up to your hand without having to tug on it. In simple terms, it's pretty much you feeding the string into the gap of the yo-yo, forcing it to snag and shoot back up to your hand. Traditionally, most unresponsive yo-yos will be of a butterfly shape, so they're a lot wider. The reason for this is because with unresponsive yo-yos, most of the time you're going to be doing things called string tricks, where you're going to be landing the yo-yo onto the string. With unresponsive yo-yos, that is the only method that you can use to get them back up to your hand. Now let's talk about different shapes. So, as you already know, with responsive yo-yos, they come in an imperial shape, which is going to be more of a closed off shape of yo-yo. So doing string tricks on one of these is possible, but really difficult. A butterfly shape yo-yo, when we refer to butterfly shape, is going to be a yo-yo that's a lot wider. It's a lot easier to land on the string and do those string tricks because of the gap width being so big. So out of these two styles of yo-yos, which one do we recommend for beginners? In my honest opinion, I always recommend an imperial shape yo-yo or a responsive yo-yo for beginners. Reason being is when you first start yo-yoing, you want to learn the fundamentals. You want to learn how to get your throw correctly, you want to know how to catch the yo-yo correctly, and you want to know a lot of the basic tricks, because those are the building blocks that are going to bring you up to the unresponsive level and all those cool flashy tricks that you see everybody doing. I know the flashy string tricks look cool and that's usually what people want to get to, but if you skip the responsive and the fundamentals, you're going to have a difficult time learning those tricks later on. Now, can most people pick up an unresponsive yo-yo and just skip ahead to the bind return? Yes, you can. Technically, you can. You can just learn the bind return fast, but what we've learned teaching millions of kids around the world is that it's a lot difficult to do so, and you're gonna get more frustrated and you're gonna quit a lot faster if you do that. It's like jumping from level 1 to level 10 and questioning yourself why you can't beat level 10 and then you quit the game. All right, for this next part, I'm going to be explaining all the parts that come with a modern day yo-yo. So there's a couple of things you should know about when you first get a yo-yo that's very important and you should keep in tune with. Most modern day yo-yos are going to be unscrewable. It's not like before where you couldn't unscrew your yo-yo. But with this comes a couple of pieces in here that you really want to learn about. The first thing we're going to be talking about are the response pads that are inside the yo-yo. These are the silicone pads that are going to help your yo-yo catch the string and force it to come back up to your hand. These do have to be changed, not too frequently depending on where you live. If you live in a humid state, they have to get changed a lot more. If you live in a more colder state or with less humidity, they don't have to get changed so frequently. The next thing you want to pay attention to is the ball bearing that's in the inside of the yo-yo. This is what's going to cause the yo-yo to spin for long durations of time. Responsive yo-yos and unresponsive yo-yos both have ball bearings in the inside. Also, all yo-yos are gonna have an axle in the inside as well, which is just a screw that holds both pieces together, so you don't wanna lose that when you unscrew the yo-yo. Last but not least, yo-yo string. This is one of the more important parts because without the string, you can't play with the yo-yo. Every yo-yo you purchase does come with a string, but I do recommend buying extra because they do run out quite frequently. A string band that I recommend that I use all the time will always have to be Kitty String by Hirokoba. That is my favorite string. There are multiple strings out there and you can experiment, but that's always been my go-to string. How frequently do you have to switch out your string just depends on how often you play. And once again, how humid the state you live in is. In some more humid places, you do have to switch it out quite regularly because you'll sweat onto the string and it makes it more rough. In a lot of other places, you don't need to. If you play every day constantly, I do recommend switching it out at least once a day if so. If not, you could probably switch it out once a week if anything. All right, so the next thing we're gonna be going over is how to put a string onto your yo-yo. There's two methods you can do this and I will show you both methods. First, I'm gonna show you the easy method that I like to use. But with that comes an understanding of the yo-yo string. So when you buy a yo-yo string, there's gonna be two ends. There's gonna be an end with a slip knot and there's gonna be an end without the slip knot. You're gonna grab the end without the slip knot and you're gonna pinch from the front and you're gonna pinch a little bit away from it. You're gonna slowly untwist the string, which you're gonna start seeing the string separate, and you'll open it up and you'll have a little hole there. You're gonna make this hole a little bit bigger. You're gonna grab your yo-yo and put your yo-yo string around it. Then you're just gonna twist it back closed and that's it. For the second method, it involves you opening up your yo-yo and doing the same thing with opening the string and just placing it on the bearing and reclosing it. I don't recommend the second method over the first one just because there's a possibility that you can open it and drop your axle and lose it and then you can't use your yo-yo no more. And it's just a lot more tedious things to keep track of. So I recommend our first method. And the same thing applies if you want to remove the string and put a new one on. If you already have a string on there, you'll just pinch a little bit away from the gap of the yo-yo, untwist until you see the separation in the strings. You're gonna put your finger in and just pull the yo-yo out. Same thing, just in reverse. And also, if you're gonna do the second method with that one as well, just be careful that you don't lose your axle. All right, so now we're gonna talk about proper throwing technique. You wanna be able to throw your yo-yo properly so that it doesn't tilt or spin out of control. There's a couple of things you should keep track of when you have the yo-yo in your hand before you even throw it. One is that the string that's coming from the yo-yo should be coming over the top when it's resting flat in your hand. If you ever see it and it's coming from the bottom like that, it is on your arm wrong and it will fall. So all you would want to do is spin the yo-yo and you see how it's coming from the top. It's the proper way to have it in your hand. When you're throwing the yo-yo, you want to be able to make a fist with your hand like this. We're gonna be throwing the yo-yo straight down and forward so that it drapes down like that. You don't wanna throw it down like this, like most people do. That's a common mistake and it doesn't get much spin. You can do it this way, but it's not gonna get a lot of spin and you're not gonna get much out of it. So what you're gonna wanna do is make a fist with your hand like this. We're gonna be throwing the yo-yo straight down. After the yo-yo leaves your hand, you're gonna wanna turn your wrist over like this to be able to get ready to catch the yo-yo. A lot of common mistakes that people go through when they're doing this is that when they throw it down, they quickly jerk their hand up or they're raising their whole wrist up. When you're pulling the yo-yo back up, all you wanna do is flick your wrist like this. That's gonna cause the yo-yo to shoot back up. Moving your whole hand up isn't gonna make it come up. The next thing we're gonna be talking about is what's gonna be considered your first trick, the sleeper. This is the trick everybody knows when you throw the yo-yo straight down and it stays spinning at the bottom. This is a very easy trick, but a lot of people get stooped on it. Why is their yo-yo staying down and why it won't come back up? So when you throw the yo-yo straight down, the ball bearings are gonna cause it to spin. If you throw it correctly, it's gonna spin at the bottom for a couple of seconds. Just like my explanation on the basic throw video, to get it back up, all you would have to do is lift your wrist. The most confusing part for people is getting it back up after it's down there. So what you wanna do is you wanna make a fist with your hand and throw your basic throw. You wanna give it a little bit of strength so that the yo-yo snags down at the bottom for a little and starts spinning. Once it starts spinning, you're just gonna use your wrist on your throw hand and tug it up a little bit like that. It's gonna shoot itself back up. Some common mistakes people go through when they're doing the sleeper is that they throw it down really aggressively, and then they start freaking out and lifting their hand up like crazy, and it doesn't come back up. So next, we're gonna talk about some beginner tricks that you should learn. They're really good confidence builders in my opinion. They're basic tricks that you can get the hang of in the matter of minutes if you do them correctly. So the first one is gonna be forward pass. Forward pass is gonna be similar to just throwing the yo-yo down as a normal sleeper. The only difference is when you throw the yo-yo out, it won't be going straight down, it will be going forward in front of you, like so. The forward pass is a fundamental trick for later on tricks such as loop-de-loop and around the world. So to do this trick, you're just gonna wanna put your arm straight down, you're gonna throw forward, and just like with sleeper where you have to turn your wrist, you're gonna turn your wrist on your throw hand from facing down to facing straight up. And then you'll catch the yo-yo. I would recommend getting 10 good repetitions of this trick to where you could do it without even looking at it before you move on to the next trick. Because the next trick is gonna be around the world. So for around the world, what you're gonna wanna know how to do is you're gonna wanna have a consistent forward pass. You're gonna wanna throw your forward pass. When it's out all the way fully extended, you're gonna wanna make a circle motion with your wrist. So around the world basically is a forward pass mixed with a sleeper. Because you're gonna throw the yo-yo out enough to where it sleeps, but at the end of its extension, you're gonna wanna use your wrist to do a circle motion, bringing the yo-yo around. Once the yo-yo has completed one revolution, you're gonna wanna catch it with your throw hand the same way you catch a forward pass. You're gonna turn your wrist, open your hand, and bring it straight back in. For all of these videos, I will have full breakdown tutorial links down in the description below, and they'll also be pinned up here as well. I've made full tutorials for all these tricks that go into depth, breaking them down and helping you guys out as well. So the next trick you're gonna wanna know is a huge milestone for you, and it's gonna be the breakaway throw. The breakaway throw is similar to the trick that we just learned, forward pass, and the other trick known as the sleeper. It's you throwing the yo-yo at a sideways angle instead of forward and instead of straight down. This is gonna help you immensely when you go over to unresponsive yo-yos because you're gonna be throwing the yo-yo in a breakaway throw for majority of unresponsive tricks. So to do this trick, you're gonna wanna make a fist with your hand like you do when you do a sleeper, except you're gonna turn your hand sideways like that. It's like you're flexing. Then we're gonna throw the yo-yo straight down at a C arch, and we're gonna carry the yo-yo around sideways as so. The biggest mistake people make with this is when they throw it down, they throw it straight down. You kind of wanna throw it down, and as the yo-yo is releasing, carry it over to the side with your wrist, not your whole hand, your wrist, like that. So the next thing I'm gonna give you guys is a practice plan. What you should be doing. You should be practicing your sleeper first. Don't move on to the next trick until you have it perfected. From sleeper, I usually recommend forward pass, around the world, breakaway, and practice those tricks individually to get the hang of your throws. All those tricks, if you've realized, are throw tricks. Forward pass is a forward throw, sleeper is a down throw, and breakaway is a side throw. Around the world is a spin. Those tricks will help you master your throws and get you very consistent for the steps moving forward. A lot of common mistakes that people have when they do tricks like these are gonna be crooked throws. I say grind these out so that your throw becomes consistently the same every single time. Some people tend to have crooked throws, or it spins out when they throw it, or they have no control. And you wanna have control of the yo-yo before you move over to the string tricks. Another common thing that a lot of new people get stuck with is the string tension issue. Well, I have perfect string tension right now, but let's mess that up. There we go. The string tension issue. If you see that your string is doing this, it's for one or two reasons. If you are right-handed, the string gets one turn tighter every time you throw it, which causes this. If you are left-handed like I am, the string will get one turn looser and eventually fall off the string. If you are right-handed, this is how you fix that problem. You're gonna wanna take your yo-yo off your finger. You're gonna drop the string straight down, and you see how it's twirling out? That can fix the problem, but if you wanna help a little bit more, pinch from the top of the yo-yo and bring your hand straight down to get out all the rest of that string tension. There are more advanced ways of fixing it, but that is the most easiest one for you guys to do. If you are left-handed, the yo-yo string is getting looser, so all you wanna do is pinch and re-tighten the string all the way down. But everything starts with the basics. There's no way you're gonna be a world champion yo-yo player in one day. There's no way you're gonna learn all these hard and complicated string tricks in just 1 week. It takes time, it takes patience, and it takes a lot of perseverance. Don't give up, take your time, be gentle on yourself, take breaks if you need to, and if you keep going and you can make it through all of these tutorials in this beginner's guide, you are on your way to being the next world champion or just really good with a yo-yo. All the tricks that are in this video have all their own separate tutorials that are gonna be linked down below. I have tutorial shorts and I have tutorial full-length videos as well, whichever one goes at a better pace for you. Next, we will be having a video at advanced level tricks and advanced beginner's guide. Hey guys, so now the last thing I have for you is yo-yo recommendations. If you are a beginner looking for a responsive imperial shape yo-yo, I would recommend that you go with the Duncan Hornet or the Yo-Yo Factory Loop 720. I think these are the best bang for your buck if you are a beginner trying to learn just the fundamentals and how to get into yo-yoing. Now, if you want a responsive butterfly shape yo-yo, I would have to recommend you go with the Duncan Freehand. This is an amazing, fantastic yo-yo that can take you from beginner to advanced level tricks and even a little bit beyond that. It's a good bang for your buck and they are an amazing yo-yo, durable and will last a long time. So if you want to get an imperial responsive, I say the Hornet from Duncan or the Yo-Yo Factory Loop 720. If you want to get a butterfly shape yo-yo, I recommend the Duncan Freehand. There's just nothing that beats it for the price point. But that was my beginner's guide for anybody who wants to start yo-yoing and learn how to yo-yoing. I have full tutorial links for many tricks and different informational things down below. So if you want to continue your knowledge of yo-yoing, whether it's learn new tricks, learn about the community, learn where to find the community, and learn about yo-yo contests, I have contacts for that all over, and I have all the information in my playlist below. For more yo-yoing information, just make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you want to learn next, and maybe I already have a video for it, or maybe I can make one. But until the next time, my name is Noah Vermillion. Peace out, guys.